it going? Good to see everyone. Get started. So excited to say that I got a close to retail copy of MMC's first Constructicon, their scrapper, or his third-party name, Deletus. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but it's, I guess, the Latin for delete. I don't actually don't know what it is in Latin or if it is Latin. Anyways, so this is a close to final. It's not final copy of Deletus. I thought they were actually sending me a retail copy, but I found out that it's not the case. The package did get opened by um, security, and apparently there was supposed to be a tune face with this. So this face that we have on here is actually for the toy. Um, and so they wanted me to let you know that obviously that this is the toy face, not the tune face. So apologies for that. So you'll see that. I'm sure at TFCon this coming weekend, you all will see more photos of this and its teammates. But wanted to start off with that. That being said, everything else feels very, very good, very close to final. I don't know what other accessories he's going to come with. To be honest, he does come with this trumpet and this gun, or at least that's what it came with for me. But we'll see what else it comes out with. Give me 1 second here. Sorry, I want to make sure that my Wi-Fi is connected properly. It is not. Give me 1 second, folks. Taking us 1 second off of what we needed to be, but so let's go ahead and get started. So for this, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to do, I mean, it's pretty close to a full review, but I'm not going to do transformations both ways. I'm going to go from robot into alt mode and then to leg mode. And then I'm actually going to stop there. I'm not going to go all the way back, or at least I don't plan to, because I actually want to actually take time to stop and do, any kind of Q&As and discussions. I feel like recently in my live streams, I've really been doing the review and not really engaging with the audience. So I want to take time to do that, especially because, this is the preview. So it's something that you all don't get to see, and you might have a lot of questions. I know this guy's going to be coming out very, very soon. So yeah, I wanted to spend more time with that. So let me give some quick shout outs to the folks here, the Megaops 81, McLucha G, he's always here. Badger, one of my Discord admins extraordinaire. McLucha G says, be nice in the chat or Paik will delete us. Anthony Brown, always a favorite. Dr. Diecast, hey Sanjay. Let's see, Frankenstein, also a regular. Alex B, a regular. Argo, not a regular. The Titan, yeah, love to see all the regulars here. Clinical, hey Clinical, thanks for joining on your time zone. I know that's very early for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start off with robot mode. Like I said, the first thing you'll notice is that this is not the tune head, it's the toy head. Again, I don't know if they're gonna come both or what, but they wanted me to point that out. We'll do a quick 360 of this figure. He is quite nice looking, very clean, and we'll do some comparisons as well. Obviously, I can't do comparisons in the live stream with all the modes, but at least in robot mode, which I think folks are interested in the most right now, as well as the leg mode. I think I'll show that off with Fans Toys competition. That's the only other MP figure I have. Oh, I guess I do have Toy World's Devi as well, but he's in Devastator mode, so I didn't feel like transforming him. But yeah, he looks quite good. I would say the arms look kind of weird because his lower forearms, he's kind of got like kind of a Popeye thing going on, where his forearms are bigger than his biceps. I definitely don't have that problem with my physique, but overall he looks quite good. He cleans up really well. Even I noticed in the renders that they showed, his backpack was a lot messier. He had like this butt flap here. They cleaned this up really well, so it's really compact. He has a little bit of a calf muscles back here, but nothing too egregious. And then the other thing that he comes with is this little tool, which we'll show off later. It is a tool, not an accessory. We'll start off with comparisons because I think that's one of the first things that folks will want to see. And as I mentioned, here he is next to Fans Toy Scrapper. So Fans Toy Scrapper is a little bit taller, as you can see. And he sports this metallic paint that, Fans Toys is really well known for, this kind of shiny paint. I got a whole bunch of dust on mine. But in terms of height, they're not that far off. I mean, a couple of millimeters. You'll also see that the shovel compacts on the Fans Toys one. This one actually does compact, but it's not supposed to compact for robot mode. I think you can actually do it. I haven't actually tried it, but you can compact it, and you're supposed to compact it for leg mode. But actually, there's a lot of similarities here. Even the transformation, they have some transformation tabs here, some tabs here that are very similar. Looking on the back, this is where Ocular Max really wins out here. Like this whole butt flap thing with the tires all visible and everything like that. And he has huge lower legs and big wheels. And you'll see how clever the transformation is and how innovative the engineering is. I mean, I've said it every single time, but I love the designers and engineers that work at Ocular Max. They do a fantastic job of making every transformation like interesting, but also simple and also fun. And they always do cool things that I don't see with any other Transformers. So here he is with Optimus Prime. I didn't feel like getting my Megatron out from the shelf, but you should kind of know what they look like in terms of scale. So he is quite big, but you know, as construction bots, they're supposed to be big. I know this is not what the scale is supposed to be in terms of the holy scale chart, but I think it makes sense. They're huge construction vehicles. I definitely don't mind them being big like this. Hey, Jermaine, how's it going? Let's see what else we have. Oh, let me do some quick weight comparisons because I know folks are going to be interested in that. This guy's nowhere close to as heavy as Fans Toys, as you would expect, because Fans Toys is always super heavy, die-casty. But he is quite hefty here. So Ocular Max's is 368 grams versus 678 grams. So not quite double the weight for Fans Toys, but something close to that. Let's see, what is that in? That is 13 ounces on the dot versus 1 pound, 8 ounces. So those are the difference. I guess since we had Prime out, we'll do that as well. While we're here, if you're in the live chat, just go ahead and drop any of your questions in the Q&A. I'll try to get to them first, but we'll look at the chats later. Hey, Matty Dentist. And the Optimus Prime is 15 ounces versus 13, so he's a little bit lighter than Optimus Prime. MP44, that is. All right, so we'll do some other comparisons if we get there later, but again, we're not going to go both ways today. We're going to go from robot mode to alt mode and then finish off in leg mode. Hey, thank you for the generous donation. You're always so kind to donate. I always appreciate it. Anyone who donates, I very much appreciate it. Don't feel ever that you need to do so, but know that if you do, I appreciate it. Hey, Parts Former. Oh, actually, what I would appreciate, though, before we get started in depth with some of the other stuff, is that if you are here, I really appreciate a like, share, or subscribe. That really helps my channel out in terms of getting viewership and getting folks to see some of these things early that they might not know I do on my channel here. But that goes a long way. I appreciate that even more than any donations. So let's get started with articulation. So his head can rotate 360. He can look up. Actually, if you get the shovel out the way, he can look all the way up. And then he also has a neck panel like that. So if you want it to be very goofy looking, you can do that. He doesn't have any down unless you use that other neck panel. Let's see. And I'll scooch this back in like so. He does have friction here. Friction here. He does have a bicep swivel. It is blocky, which I don't love, but again, that's kind of hard to get around with the design of the Constructicons. He has double jointed elbows, which let him go basically 180 on that. I am not getting the X-Transbots Constructicons. I haven't bought a X-Transbot KFC toy in, I think, 4 years now. And I think the last one I got was not even, the last review I did was one that they sent me. I think it was their Coot. I did see some conversations from Lazy Azzo, who's part of the Ocular Max MMC team, saying that these might be not the final hands. I'm not sure. These look like the same hands that we've gotten with some of the other figures. But I just saw a post literally earlier, like an hour ago, that said Lazy Azzo said they seem to have gotten new hands, but I don't know. So check out TFW 2005 if you have any questions on that. But yeah, his hands, he has the ball jointed thumb and then the individual fingers that are all kind of molded the same. They are slightly different. They are not exactly the same, but they only have the one pin joint in the base of each finger here. and the rotation on the mushroom peg. He does have an ab crunch, which works well. It does break up the look a little bit, but that's kind of par for the course. There's no like filler or anything like that. He also has a rotational joint, which is ratcheted. He has hip skirts on the front and the back, and he has ratcheted joints going slightly over 90 degrees and slightly, well, maybe 90 degrees here. He has a thigh swivel, again, with a square or rectangular cutout, which kind of breaks up the look, and also friction going out to the side, which hold quite well. He has a ratcheted upper knee joint, a ratcheted lower knee joint, and the lower knee joint can go like this for transformation. But if you use both of them, he can get a very, very deep knee bend, which is great for those of you like posing. He actually has another joint really deep in here, but that's really locked in for this mode. It's for transformation. But we'll take a look at that later. What else does he have? Oh, he does have, oops, this is slightly mistransformed. This is actually supposed to be out. What's going on? Give me a second here. This is supposed to be out like that. Sorry about that. He has an ankle tilt, which can go all the way like that. He has a toe tilt slightly going up, and it can go down like that. He does have a big heel here, so there's no concern about him not being stable. He has a very wide base here, and his tilt only goes inwards. There's no foot going forward or back, but he does have, again, a little bit of toe here. He does actually have a separate heel spur that you can rotate around. You might find it useful for stability. And he actually has a little fold out piece. That's not for stability, it's for transformation. But again, some options down there if you want to use it. Is there any other articulation? I don't think so. Yeah, so he's good. He can make the muscle man pose. Roar. And he kind of has his Incredible Hulk colors going on with green and purple. He has that kind of vibe. The one trumpet that he does have from the Starscream coronation from the movie, it tabs in to his palm, like so. And you saw it in the preview. He can go burp, burp, burp. There's no sound effects or anything like that, but you get the idea. And then he also has this gun, which is a molded piece. It does have a fold-up handle, which goes like that. Folds open. Also tabs into the palm just fine. Pew, 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 pew. I know that's not as cool of a sound as skadoosh. Or what is I'm gonna say? Something with skoosh. Bloosh, bloosh? Something like that. I haven't watched them go in a while. All right. That gun looks too big? I don't know. I've never... Bloosh. Yeah, bloosh. I know it's something with the oosh. I've never paid attention to gun scale, weapon scaling, so... Oh, actually, that one thing that he does have, which I don't know if you count it as articulation, is he does have this. If you untab this roof piece, he kind of has, I guess, the upper torso crunch. I don't know. I wouldn't count that officially, but I guess if you're imaginative, you can use it. All right. Let's see who else has joined. I'm reminded of how I missed the Paik sound effects. Do I do sound effects? Ridiculous Badger says no sound effects, but don't worry, everyone. We got Paik recorded and putting it out the upgrade set. Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and get into transformation. So real quick anecdote. So I got this, and again, I was expecting a retail copy, but it was not when I opened it up. And it was a close to final retail copy. No instructions. They didn't give me anything. And I literally figured out how to get from robot mode into the combined leg mode in 20 minutes. And I got from combined leg mode into alt mode within 10 minutes. No instructions, no reference. The only thing I referenced were the TFW renders, which again, were old because, you know, all this backpack stuff is different back down here. That's how clever and innovative it is. Hey, Kamel. it was just very intuitive, and I think that's just one of the things that I really, really love. Like, it took me less time to figure out on my own how to get to all 3 modes of this figure than it took me to get through the Fans Toys Ironhide, from robot to all transformation with a video manual, with instructions. There were a couple of things that I found out later upon multiple transformations, which were really clever and things that I didn't find out first time. But those only kind of enhanced my appreciation. Oh, the one thing I forgot to show off is he has one other functionality, is that if you come up to his left arm here, beep beep, he has like a little cell phone, like an Apple Watch or Samsung Galaxy Watch. I mean, I'm not biased, so he has that in there. Yep, a little painted. It looks like it doesn't have all, 10 numbers, so you might only have a limited number of cell phones you can call, but it is what it is. Yeah, I only found that out because I wasn't paying attention, but when you transform the fist, this one had like a little bump in here, and I was like, why does this one have a bump? And I figured that out. All right, so now let's finally get to transformation. Oh, actually, let me pause that. Let me actually look at since we might not come back to robot mode, let me actually see if there's any questions in robot mode first before we move along. So give me a second. Yeah, it looks like his arms should extend. They do not. There's no extension here. No extension. So the only question we had was how tall is he supposed to be? I already showed it with Fans Toys, Gary. You're late, TM. You don't have to catch it on the rewind. I've already shown it. I don't remember how tall he's supposed to be in combined mode. I'm sure somebody else in the chat knows that. So somebody who's smarter than me and more up to date than me, go ahead and do that. Oh, you still see? No, he did. He ruined it. He says you can see the screaming face on his chest. It looks like he's emoji going, ah! So, and an equal sign. That's what my feelings are about this figure. Equals, ah! All right, transformation. So, again, I'm going to try to get my way through this as smoothly as possible, but I've only had him like a couple days. And again, no instructions, so we'll do our best. All right, the first thing we'll do is come to the back here. We want to pull this out. There's like slight tabby thingies here that go into slight holes there. They might be tighter on the final one, but you want to extend this out. So there's actually 2 pieces here that make up this middle section. So you're going to untab this and extend this out and tab it in like that, and then rotate this around. You're going to extend this piece, and there's 2 tabs like that, and then you can tab that in, and then you have these 2 flaps here that will peg into either side. All right, so we'll just leave that there for now. We can bring this up and unlock it. Let's see here. Oh, the next thing we're going to want to do is come here. We're going to untab this, bring this up like so. And this is going to come all the way down, and this kind of hook tab, this will slide on down, and then you push this in to kind of lock that into place. All right. Now we're going to come to the inside here. We're going to untab this. This thing was tabbed into place. We're going to open this. And we're going to rotate. So this is where it gets kind of clever. There's 3 positions that this can be. Right now in robot mode, can you see it here? There's 1 slot here, 1 to the left, and 1 to the right. So we're going to rotate the arm. Which way is it? I'm trying to remember. Is it this way? And then we go this way? Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think it's this way. Well, we'll figure it out. If not, I'll rotate it back. I'm just trying to remember because it gets kind of confusing. So we'll rotate up like that. The fist, we're going to open this up. We're going to rotate the hand 180, fold that in, close this up. Yeah, that should be right. Same thing with this side. Let's open this up, open this, rotate up to this notch here, close this back up. We're going to open this, rotate the fist, get it in, close that up. All right. And this is going to come all the way here. Just make sure that you be careful on these tabs. Once you open this, these two small tabs will come down. This will come down like that. Tab these in on both sides, while simultaneously, well, oh, actually I got that wrong. I was supposed to bring these down too. Oh, nope, I got this whole thing wrong. So when I said rotate it this way, I was wrong. Rotate it that way. Sorry about that. Rotate it like that. All right, sorry. All right, and then these two tabs will go into the side here. And that basically makes the front of the vehicle right there. All right, so we'll go ahead and extend the roof, pull it down. This part will rotate down. And then this little flap here opens up and reveals the steering wheel. And it has like that little knob that makes things rotating around a lot easier. Has that and a little gear shifter thing, I guess. I don't know what those things are called. We're going to rotate this up. And now, so now that you got the middle part of the truck done. Now we're going to come to the bottom where things get kind of crazy. Not crazy, but like not crazy difficult, but crazy in that it's really well engineered here. So the first thing we'll do is open up some tabs. We open up this tab here. We open up this knee. We're going to open this up, flip this little piece down. We're going to flip this toe piece up and then flip the whole toe down like so. All right. This was untabbed. We can just lift this up for now. I want to rotate this 180. And now we're going to start dealing with the leg panels here. So these are all going to fold over, but I want you to deal with this outside panel first. So the first thing we'll do is we'll open this up. This piece was here. Let's open this up. We're going to bring the wheel down. It's tabbed in here. Bring this down 90 degrees like so. But we want to open up this section, which was tabbed in here. Open this up, extend it all the way like that. This piece, which was like this, we're going to, we have to bring it down like this. All right. And then we're going to rotate this panel up, and you see this big tab here. This is going to plug in. So this plugs in there. This unfurled piece comes around. There's a tab locking system there. Now you can close this up, and you fold this piece out like so. And now we can deal with the bottom piece here. So now we just need to rotate up the lower leg to get it kind of lined up here. And you don't need to tab it in right now because you're going to need to keep this panel loose because this hook will go into here later. But basically, if you want to rotate it together, you can. So that's it for that leg. Let's do the same thing on this side. Open this up, open up the knee panel, open up this flap, fold this small piece in, get this toe piece folded, and then fold this all the way down. Rotate this 180. Dealing with this section, we'll open this up, get the wheel untabbed and tilt it out just a little bit, unfurl this whole piece, and then we're going to rotate this up and into the side here. This piece will come around and tab in. Rotate this piece 90 degrees, like so. And then we can rotate the lower leg up using this lowest joint. And then you can see how this kind of all tabs in. You can either do this separately or at once, but collapse this section here. And then we're going to rotate in at this kind of knee joint here, this part here. So we're going to rotate this in, making sure that there's no gap here. So you see a slight gap, that means that's wrong. It should be like that. rotate this all the way around. And when you come around here, there's several tabs that hold everything into place. There's 2 tabs on the inside that go here and here, 1 tab that goes here. Oh, and this tab will go into the front here. So show that off. This tab's in first, this tab's in second. And then if you did it right, these tabs will go in all the way. You can close up this panel. And then let's do the same thing for the other side. Again, using this this upper knee joint, the highest upper knee joint, you want to rotate both of those together, both sections together. Get it all the way around. Oops, this hook piece I forgot to get out. I messed up here, so make sure it's straightened out so there's no gap there. Tab this in. Tab this in. And if I did it right, which I didn't, oh, there we go. Tab that in, and then you squeeze both halves together. Close this up. Here, we're going to open up these panels. This one will open up the one smokestack. It's actually cut in half, so it's thin enough to reside in here. Close this up, fold this in on itself like so, and then there's another one here. I don't know what these things are called, but they look like smokestack thingies. Fold these up at the same time. Again, give it a nice squeeze here. And we're almost done. So this piece here is on a slider. You'll see that there's a tab here. You just slide this down like so. Give it a nice tug. Oh, Bot Bender Orange. Wow, it looks very intricate and clever. Can't wait to check it out, but let's be honest, nothing beats X-Transbot's version. I kid. I can't say. I've heard that some of the figures that they've released in this line are really good though. So I'm not going to judge. I can't judge third hand. So let's go ahead and pull this down. But there's a couple of small details that they've done. This part flips down, and this part is actually an extending joint there. This. And then finally, you look like you're done here, but you're not. So remember that little tool that I mentioned? This thingy? So what is this for, you say? So if you guys have seen, they have transforming wheels. So that with the Gary, which I already showed before, but we'll bring it out again just because TM paid to see it. You can see how big the wheels are in robot mode, which some people might find unsightly. But they found out a way around that by going ahead and making these transformable. So whether you have fingernails or not, what you would need to do is just come in here and you can grab this notch and pull out, and it makes them almost the same size as the Fans Toys one, which is super clever. But they said not everyone has fingernails like Henry. So what they did is give you this little tool. So you just squeeze it, get it around one of the notches here, and then you grab on this side, this other grabby piece, and pull with that. So then you get these transformed. Pretty cool, I would say. Oops, something. Did I not transform something right here? Oh, so there seemed to be some kind of gap here. Oh, and I didn't tab this one in all the way, or it came undone. So let's do it again on this side with the tool. Grab this, pull out, or again, you can do it with your fingernails if you have any resemblance of one. And with that, you have Deletus in alt mode. Actually, we got to alt mode much earlier, but I was showing off some additional features, functionality. He does have gun storage under here with these 2 tabs. Just fold up the handle. Oh, one thing you can also do, which I don't know if it's required for this mode, but you can flip up these pieces on the back of the forearms to lock this in place. Definitely not necessary for this mode, but I guess you can do it. I wanted to show that off a little bit later as optional. I don't know officially if that's needed for this mode or not. You definitely need it for leg mode though. But you can tab that into the bottom here. I don't think there's anywhere else to tab like things like this, like the trumpet. Or anywhere else can this can tab in on the side, but I didn't really ask. But yeah, so here he is in alt mode. He has nice rolling wheels, obviously. What other articulation does he have? Well, he has this piece here, and then this piece that is ratcheted, as you can hear, nicely ratcheted. It can go all the way down, go all the way up. Depending on what you want to do too, is again, you can collapse some of this and extend a little bit. You get a little bit of play here, depending on what you want. And again, if you untab this section here, you can also do a little bit more, not a lot. And again, I don't think this is for this mode, but they also have a transforming piece here where you can collapse these sliding pieces to make it look like this. This I know definitely is for combined mode, but you can use it for alt mode as well, depending on how you want your shovel to look. So yeah, let's do some quick comparisons. I don't have the time to transform Gary, obviously, but here he is with Streak. So you can see just how big he is, and compared to Streak, he's like twice as tall. Oh, sorry, one thing I did forget here. Sorry, you can flip this piece down to make sure that there's a back here. I think it's supposed to be down for this mode, but again, I don't know, and it makes very little difference. But he's also longer than Streak. He's quite a bit wider than Streak here. He's like 1.5 streaks or something like that. So quite a big alt mode. I'm sure at some point somebody else like TM or T-Man, if he gets this, they'll do a detailed comparison. TM does really good series with every figure that does direct comparisons with the competitor. So definitely check him out. He's always great and detailed about that. So I'm not going to try to do that because I'm only doing live streams now. Let's see what questions folks have. So I saw some folks leaving comments. Hey, White09 Stang, are they planning on a different color variants? I'm sure they are. I mean, it's Ocular Max. They try to retool as much as possible. Does look better than FT in alt mode, but so does a train wreck. That's a good one. McLuher G. Anthony Brown Jr. says facts. Hey Jermaine, he says, is this going to look better than Fans Toys in combined mode? I don't think so, because there's going to be parts forming with the Fans Toys one. Again, oh, and that's one thing I didn't mention. So this is an all-in-one transformation, like the rest of all the Ocular Max's combiners, meaning there's no parts forming involved, everything like that. Everything's contained within the transformation and the robots, individual robots. So I think there are obviously going to be some sacrifices here. So we'll have to see. But I always find that their combined mode definitely is lacking as far as overall cohesiveness, just because they have to make compromises by trying to engineer everything into all three modes into one set of bots. Let me take a quick look at questions real quick, and let's see what else do we have. Hold on one second. I don't even know if I can look at questions here. Can I look at questions? I can look at live chat. I cannot look at questions. So give me 1 second to get to my computer here. The Megaops 81 says, is he as tall as the other Ocular Max MMC combiner bots? I think he's taller, if I'm not mistaken, but they should be fairly close. Oh, somebody asked to see the back. So yeah, this is the only area that I would say that is definitely lacking. It's obviously exposed back here. That's probably the weakest part of this one. The bottom looks fine, I guess. Not that most people look at the bottom. The front, everything else looks good, but definitely would have been nice if they had like maybe a panel here that covered this up. But again, they're trying to do 3 modes at once. But I really like this alt mode. Has a lot of small paint details here and there, like these grids, the ladder, and again, they even did the steering wheel here, some paint details, and the console for the controls. Things that most people probably don't care about, or they could have done with a sticker. Some details on the. I just noticed on the back though. I don't know if this is accurate, but this one's white and this one's gray. I don't know if that's accurate. It might be kind of like a plane thing where they have like the different color lights on either side of the vehicle. But yeah, this is the alt mode. Let's go ahead and get into combined mode now. So it's not that far for combined mode. We actually have to reverse a lot of the things that we did to get here. So it's actually probably easier to go from robot into combined mode. But I digress. Let's go ahead and collapse these in. We're going to just start untabbing stuff. Well, let me just fold this up, untab this, untab these back sections here a little bit. We're going to flip these up. We need to untab these halves, open up this panel, rock this in, Same thing on this side. Oh, one thing real quick. They told me this, and I only found out later, is one other piece of playability that this has, which we'll get later, is apparently there's an episode of the show where he gets the chest plate and it tabs in to the back of Scrapper. I don't remember the episode. I know I'm supposed to be a Transformers fan, but I've come to realize that I don't remember crap from the G1 series. But apparently, at one point, he has Devastator's chest plate on the back here. So that these little tabs here, because I was like, what are these tabs for, MMC? And they were like, oh, that's for functionality that will come later. So it will tab the chest wings here on these. Sorry about that. I totally forgot about that, and I kind of told myself not to forget. So sorry. Let's go ahead and keep going. Flip this up. Fold this down. Fold this down. What else do we need to untab before we keep going? I think we're good here. So now we'll go ahead and start. Unfurl these on the bottom. All right, so now we're going to untab everything we did before. So untab this, unhook this, untab that. And then we can kind of bring everything down the way we had it before. We can straighten out kind of these knees to 90 degrees. We're going to go ahead and untab the knee here. Let's go ahead and just split the legs while we're here. It just makes it a little bit easier to show off some stuff. So let's split the legs. We're going to come in here. We're going to untab this big tab here, but you do have to untab the wheel first. Just remember to do that. Untab this big tab, open this up. We're going to straighten out the lower leg. The wheel needs to actually come onto the inside, so this is going to come in, tab into the inside here. This is going to curl back up the way it was before, so collapse it all on itself, fold this down. This piece is going to go back the way it was before, which was 90 degrees this way. And then with that done, we're going to tab this back in, like so. Oh, one quick thing. There's also a little tab here. It's easier to get before you tab the wheel in, so let's go ahead and get that tab out. You'll see what that is for later. Down here on the lower leg, you're going to rotate this 180 back to where it was in robot mode. So like I said, it is actually easier to get, or quicker to get to leg mode from robot mode. You're going to rotate just this section 180, and there's a big tab here. And then you're going to bring this inner piece, this comes up and comes in and tabs like so. I'm always going to forget this, so I'm going to do it now. You want to bring this crotch piece out because it's like kind of a space filler. It's not a big deal if you don't do it. I forget it every single time. With that, we're going to go ahead and rotate the legs, this outside panel back to where it was before. We're going to straighten this out, and then we're going to fold this in, but we're going to do that later. So same thing on the other side here. We can untab the back, the side panel from here. We can straighten this all out, rotate 180. If you want to do this section first, you can. So you can rotate the lower leg down, tab that in, tab this in. I always do this second though, just because it makes it a little bit easier to see what's going on here. But again, let's untab the wheel, untab the outside panel from this gray knee piece. There we go. Open this up. We're going to fold in the wheel. Before we do that, let's get this little tab out. Come on. There we go. Like so. We're going to rotate this back the way it was before, which was like this. Like this. And that tabs in there. Curl up this piece back the way it was in robot mode. Now we can go ahead and tab that back in to that gray piece. And now you can see how both halves are made. All right, we can actually do this now. So let's do this now. Let's fold this back fold this up like so. And these two tabs that we folded out go into either side of this piece. And then these tabs go back in here like it was, these hooks. Remember that these knee gaps should be closed. And then we can tab in to the side. You can see these tabs a little bit better now that this piece is this way. Tab this in, tab that in. The crotch piece, even though I remembered to bring it out, it folded back up. So let me just get in here real quick. I even remembered. Let's close this up. The other problem is that there's nothing that really keeps this secured. It kind of just rests here, and depending on how you have everything angled, it can easily push in. So that's kind of annoying. I asked if there was plans or if the final one had something different. So it does actually rest into place here, but again, depending on how you have things positioned, that could fall in back into between the legs. But you can see it's just a gap filler. Close this up, come up here, fold these two halves together. And that's the upper part. So that's the thigh and kind of the knee section here. And now let's deal with the bottom here. So let's open this up. We also want to untab this section, these little tabs here. Let's just get this out of the way. The couple of things that we need to do are rotate the head 180. We're going to, which way do these need to rotate? Get this armed up. Open this panel up again. So this little clip here that was locking it into place. Make sure to open this up too. And now we're going to rotate 180 all the way to the other side that I did by mistake the first time, like so. And now instead of folding up both the wheel and that clip, we're only going to fold up this clip. We're going to rotate this arm 90 degrees because there's a cutout here. That's for this tab, like that. And then get this straightened out, this wheel straightened. But there's one thing here, there's a little slider that goes out like that. Okay? And then lastly, on this side, undo this tab that we had talked about before. This piece should be still slid out. So same thing on this side. We're going to open up this wheel, make sure that this tab also came with it. We're going to rotate 180 on the arm, shoulder joint to get that all the way into the correct position down here. Lock that into place with this tab. Rotate the hand or bicep 90 degrees so that this tab sits in correctly there. All right. While we're here, let's fold up this wheel and this panel like so. Get these tab back in like that and like that. And then we're going to fold the arms back in. Now, these tabs that I forgot to do this one on the side. These tabs will actually go into the side of his head right there. Did I also do the slider on this? I didn't do the slider on this one. All right, sorry. The slider on the wheels, and go ahead and tab that in there. Get this in like that. This is good. This tab came undone. We'll just tab that back in. That one's already good. And then we have to go with the shovel transformation. So the shovel transformation is kind of going back to where we were before. We want to release these two locking tabs here. And we want to slide down a bit. And you're going to actually tab them into these tabs there. But before we do that, let's actually transform the shovel itself. You're going to open up these locking tabs here on either side. We're going to pull this out. This will fold flat, and these will double hinge inward, like so, and both halves will lock into place. As I kind of mentioned before, you use these slider joints to make it more accurate to the cartoon model, where it only has these two kind of toes. These pieces now fold flat. This will slide down slightly and tab in to another set of ports here. And if you have everything right, let's see, did I miss anything? With that, you should have your Deletus in leg mode. Once again, you can store the weapon here if you'd like, and make sure that these are extended. But this is his leg mode. So cool things about this mode are that obviously you have some toe articulation here as well as here, and these are ratcheted nice and tight. And again, if you want the transformation to look different here, you can do that. You can even do the wider shovel if you want. You don't actually have to do this reduced one if you want a bigger one, but I think this kind of makes sense. But I think I probably would keep it wider. And you can do that. I didn't even know that. I didn't even realize that this was specific for this mode. But you can have it like this. Other things that he does have are coming from the top. He has the ratcheted knee joint up here and another ratcheted knee joint. So he has a double ratcheted knee bend here. So he can go almost close, not 180, but very close. This is a super deep knee bend that you don't even see on regular transformers, let alone combiners. Like, that's just crazy. Obviously, there's a lot of gaps and stuff here that you're going to be seeing, but if you keep it to a reasonable level, these pieces make it look pretty good here. Does he have any? Oh no, his waist is locked into place here. He does have ankle tilt both ways, and then he also has ankle tilt forward in this mode. We already talked about this ratchet here and this ratchet here, and then the heels are locked into place in several areas to try to make it very secure. So here and the head, which make this really, really solid, really quite solid. Yeah, so given that it had to do so much with all the all-in-one transformation, I was super surprised how well this turned out. Obviously, it's not as clean as some of the other ones you might see, but it keeps this, it still invokes the same kind of feeling that you got from the other ones. Everything looks G1-ish. Some people probably will complain about the wheels being visible here. I don't mind it too much, again, given all they had to do. And this stupid crotch plate. Well, there we go. Not a big deal. But again, I think it's great. I think it looks great. I don't have another leg. Oh no, I'll bring out one of the. I'll bring out Defensor. Give me 1 second. Let me bring out Defensor. No. All right, so you can see about the same leg height as Defensor's leg. Kamel says MMC engineering is always a delight. I agree. That's the thing I love best. The Schmidt dogs, are they out yet? No, this guy's coming out in about a month or so. So yeah, about the same length. Actually, a little bit shorter than Defensor's leg, but I think he's gonna have a much bigger waist or hip area because he had very small waist area. So let me actually take this guy out of the way. And because I know someone's gonna ask, here he is with Ocular Max's Bruticus. This one has the boots on, so it's not a super fair comparison. If it goes up to like about here, again, I think that makes about a lot of sense because their Bruticus actually has longer legs and a shorter torso, and I think Devastator, Defensor was kind of opposite, had little waist and very long thighs. This guy looks like he has little thighs, and he's gonna have bigger hips and torso, especially because he's a 6-part combiner. Give me a second, everyone. And the last comparison I'll do is with Toy World Devi, which is much bigger than in scale in combined mode than the Ocular Max ones, but at least this will give you an idea of how large it is. So much smaller than the Toy Roll Devastator. So if that's your scale, obviously this is not going to work for you. But yeah. All right, let me pull this back. Oh. I don't know if I'm stupid or not, but I have all my combiners or big bots on top of my my DTOLFs. It's probably not smart, right? Like I have DX9's Gabriel, Toy World Devastator, both Ocular Max bots, my Fans Toys, Menasor. They're all on the top. My Unicron. Why am I putting my expensive figures on the top where they could easily tumble and break? Sorry for the aside there. Thoughts of a Transformers collector. Wayward Traveler 77 says just need him to scale with my other MMC sets, so I'm good, which he should. Great. AMVH 2012, which I don't know if I've seen you before. I remember thinking that Bruticus was the best. I'd still love all of the figures that they've released just because they do so much and the engineering is cool with almost every individual figure. But, you know, combined mode definitely is a sacrifice. Anthony Brown Jr. says, Springer, I don't remember you donating money today, and I gave you a freebie last time, but Deluxe wants me to put him next to a real bot. I love Deluxe, so let me do that. Here he's next to Fans Toys. So oddly enough, I think he's exactly the same height as he is in robot mode as he is in leg mode. He's like a millimeter or two shorter than Gary, and he was a millimeter or two shorter in robot mode. Here he is next to MP44. Hey Memo, how's it going? Hey White 09 Stang. Here he is next to Springer, Ocular Max's Springer, because I don't know why I always allow myself to get bullied into doing this for Anthony Brown, but I love him, so there he is. Parts Form says, can he still play the trumpet in leg mode? I have no idea. Deluxe asked Paik, you going to TFCon Chicago? No, I can't. I was actually planning to, and then last minute, with the government shutdown and my work, there are challenges. So, especially given that this shutdown is extending longer, that's going to impact my work. And depending on how long it goes, I might actually have to stop work. And if I stop work, I have to use my PTO, or unpaid leave. So I'm trying to be cautious in making sure that I have as much PTO as possible. Should that happen, I don't think it will. And luckily, my job doesn't completely depend on the government, but it is highly impacted. So Anthony Brown says, as you're saying, well, you got it. Deluxe says, sorry to hear that. Yeah, I really wanted to go. I was actually talking to Shiro Kuro and Anthony Brown on my Discord about really trying to meet up and go and have a meal. Eddie from Toy Dojo, who's my sponsor, who, if you haven't ordered this yet, you can definitely get him. Click the pre-order link. Well, click the Toy Dojo link in the description below and you can get it there. White Sing says, you're not getting paid either. Well, I am getting paid right now, luckily. But if the government shutdown goes for much longer, at least a couple of my contracts are going to be impacted. So yeah. And I already also had a vacation plan for the week after where I'll be gone. So I'm already using some PTO there. So all that said, I really wanted to go, but things just didn't work out. The tickets were super cheap when I was looking too. It was only like 200 something bucks. So let's see. Let me look and see what questions we have here. Who was it? Adriani, sorry, I'm looking from really far away. Says, do you know what the next reformatted release will be? I don't know. I honestly don't ask her. Most people, most fans probably know more than me just because I don't keep up as much anymore, and I don't bug the MMC Ocular Max folks to find out. So unfortunately, I don't know that. McLurcher G says always remember to close the poll, which I will. But I do want to make sure that I get any questions that you all have. So that's kind of the end of where we were going to go with the transformations. I might go back into robot mode while I answer questions. But right now, I just want to go into the live chat and just see what people have thoughts for thoughts. Transformers Third Party Kingdom says pound for pound and fully functional and articulative MMC with no will no doubt be the best of them all. Yeah. Memo says I spent too much at Toy Dojo this week already. So did I. I just got a package from them. MMC Dinobots, that'd be great. Titan wants a pair of Adidas for comparison. I don't own any Adidas. My wife might. Let's see who else. Yeah, so here Sting came back. Your thoughts? Sting on he came back to AEW. He retired, but then again, it's wrestling, so who stays retired? Except maybe, John Cena. He's coming to the end supposedly of his career, but we'll see. I mean, I've stopped being like a Sting fan from a while ago. I still like that he's trying to do stuff and he's trying to bring up the higher talent, but the younger talent, but he should just stay retired at this point. Ankang Vocho says, I have a big demand to know how the progress of long haul is. I don't know. Um, you would think that I take advantage of my relationship with MMC a lot more to find out other figures that are coming out and stuff like that. Or I'd even ask for this. Like people are like, why didn't you ask for a copy of XYZ figure to do a review on? I'm like, oh, I didn't think to ask. I do have this figure that they did send. It was an earlier pre-production model of their ram horn, and it broke. So I was going to do a preview on that, but the head broke. So they said, don't do it. So I said, okay, no problem. Oh, I don't know actually. Anthony Brown, are you talking about Sting the singer or Sting the wrestler? I'm assuming Sting the wrestler because we talk about wrestling in my Discord. So if you guys are new here, I saw we had about 100 folks here. We usually don't get that much unless it's a Fans Toys review, but I have a Discord, also link in the description below. Come join us there. I actually put out the first photos of this guy that once I got him there. Photos that I don't share anywhere else. And that's where I engage with the audience on all things, not even just Transformers, other figures, nerddom, Lego sets, Gundam, TV shows. We have a food channel. We have a random channel. We have a marketplace. So yeah, if you use Discord, come check us out. It's not super demanding. It's not super active, but we have a lot of stuff going on there. Actually, while I'm here, let me actually just see if I can get. Oh, my battery's running to 20%. Let me plug in first. Let me lock in. Give me a second, folks. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm positive that he can go wider foot too. So let's actually just do that real quick. Let's just do that. Pull this out. That, and then I guess you can rotate this down to lock this in like so. Then rotate up. Oh, if you do the wider foot, well, no, yeah, you can do the wider foot, no problem. I think you probably need to extend this piece. I don't think you can have it on the lower. Yeah, you can't have it on the lower extension and lock these in. So if you are gonna make it wider foot, you have to use the extension here, and then you're gonna have the foot come out a lot more, which looks kind of goofy to have the foot sticking out that far. But maybe you want that extra balance. Do you absolutely need these? I mean, I guess you don't absolutely need those either, but there's because they only ensure that this doesn't extend or collapse. But maybe you want that to extend and collapse. But even with it, it stands very securely. Oh, I did ask them about this, and they said the final joint is going to be a lot tighter. I mean, this feels fine, but once you get a whole combiner in it, it might be a little too loose. Yeah, but that's one thing I did notice as well. So yeah, you can do the wider shovel, and again, you can still do this combination kind of thing here, depending on what you want it to look like. I kind of don't really care about how many little toesies he has. Clinical says, I'm in the UK, Anthony Brown, and not going to TFCon. High heel mode. Angry Angel says, I want MMC to make a 86 Hot Rod and Cup. Well, they don't really do mainline stuff like that, I guess, unless you're talking about Masterpiece style, which Ocular Max does do. Clinical Slow looking for an MMC reissue of Vulture and Buzzard. What do you think of Magic Square's Bruticus? So I have him. I have them. I haven't opened up all of them, but I've done Swindle and I've done Brawl. I think they're cool transformations and they're clever. But some parts of it just feel off to me. Like they feel really cheap in terms of plastic quality and paint. I don't know I don't know why. There's something about it that I can't put my finger on, and even just some things about it don't feel super premium. But for the price and the looks, I think it looks phenomenal. I think it looks like the best robot modes that we've gotten, and potentially the best other modes too. But something about them feels off to me. I can't put my finger on it. I haven't reviewed any of them. Maybe I should, because I now have 4 of them, I think 4 are out, right? But I digress. But those are my thoughts on that one. Memo says they feel sturdy but hollow. Kind of, yeah, I can see that. William McKeever asks, when will they do IDW4 Max? So that design for Warden has been out for a while, and then they tried to crowdfund it, and then it wasn't successful, but they did say it's going to come out. It is going to come out for widespread release. When they get to it, I don't know. Folks like Lazy Azza are much more in touch with the stuff like that and ask a lot for updates. So I would go on TFW to ask about that. Oh, real quick, since we didn't talk about it, is that this obviously is a little connector joint for the combined mode. It looks like a slotting mechanism, and it also has these little locking tabs here. They're kind of tiny though, so I don't know how they work, but the other locking mechanisms for the other combiners always work really well. I actually think these tabs will probably come into play as well. I think it's going to be a sliding mechanism with a tab that comes and locks in with these 2 pegs here, because I don't think they are used for anything else. So what other questions do we have? Camille says, saw some pictures of Mixmaster with newer hands this morning. Any chance the hands on this are updated? Yeah, I mentioned that earlier as well. I don't know. I don't know for sure. But, thank you, Bot Bender Orangey, $5. Please thank the folks at MMC. This toy looks mad sick. Thank you so much for the $5. I'll definitely let them know that you think it looks awesome, just like I do. So yeah, Kumail, I think it was Kumail. No, sorry, it was Zekoid. Sorry, my computer is really far from my new setup. So Zekoid, yeah, I think he confirmed it for the newer ones, but he wasn't sure about the scrapper. But he was like, why would they not do it? Because they're supposed to be the same. Oh, there's Lazy Azza right there. Lazy Azza's in the chat. Sam is pre-tooling Supermax for his retool, so he's delayed more for that. But that's awesome. Yeah, Lazy Azza, I think you said earlier on TFW 2005 that you're not 100% sure that Scrappy will have the new hands, but you're pretty sure he will. Clinical says, I'm going to have to take some acetaminophen, Tylenol, and go to bed. I already have autism, so I have nothing to lose. Okay? All right. All right, we'll see you later, Clinical. Lazy Ass says, I did, but they should all get them. Be weird if Deletus missed out. So yeah, I mean, we can ask Boss Penguin about that, but I would say probably, or maybe it's one of those things where they'll include a next extra set of hands with a later release. But since this guy's supposed to be coming out within a month or so, Lazy as I did remember to keep the panel out, even though it is very sensitive and can easily get tucked back in there. I pulled it out and then halfway through the transformation, it got tucked back in. So, all right. So I don't think we have any more questions in the Q&A, but I did ask in the live poll, which of the currently releasing Constructicon sets are you looking for? Or is your favorite so far? So we have really 3 that are currently in the MP scale. There are some other third-party ones which are less G1-ish. Maybe I should have said G1 Masterpiece scale. But what did you say? Gabriel says you have the Studio Series 86 version Devastator as a comparison. I do have them. I have not opened any of them. So yeah. So let's see what the poll says. So Fans Toys, X Transbots, or Ocular Max. Let's see what the poll goers say.